Welcome to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. On this podcast, we believe that the culture of academia needs to change radically. Women and non-binary people are revolutionizing academia within institutions that were not built for us. If you're ready to reject the culture of overwork, kick guilt and overwhelm to the curb, and amplify your voice to make a real impact on your field without breaking down or burning out, you're in the right place. With our team of experienced writing coaches as co-hosts, we'll share insights and talk to inspiring guests to bring you the practical strategies, systems, and mindset shifts you need to find time to write, publish work you love, and design your career on your terms. And it all starts with writing. Let's go. Hello, it's Kathy Mazik. I'm coming to you live from my daughter's bedroom. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about something that at Scholar's Voice is really important to us and that you'll hear in my videos and our podcast and everything many times. And that is curation. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the curated publication pipeline and what it can unlock for you, especially in terms of influence and impact on your field. So a publication pipeline is really just a high level, it's not a just. The publication pipeline is a high level project, multi-project map of all of the writing and publishing projects that you have, I call in play, right? Like, so everything from idea to submitted publication, and also the revise and resubmit process is part of your publication pipeline. And I've done videos before about different kind of metaphors for the pipeline and why we want to think of it as curated. And I'm going to dig into that idea of curation today, but also talk about like, what is the result of curation for you? So the pipeline is curated. And what we mean by that is like, just like an art exhibit is, we carefully select the pieces of art in order to maybe convey a certain message about the artist or represent a time period, or, you know, like there's a reason behind curation, like why, if we're using the art gallery metaphor, like why we select carefully certain pieces, why we hang them in a certain way and light them and place them. And the bottom line behind that curation is this intentionality and care, and also selection. Okay, so curation is a selection process, and that's really important. And maybe the most important point about the publication pipeline curation is that when we're talking about curation in the pipeline, it automatically means that we are choosing not to publish some things and choosing to publish other things. And we want to make those choices really intentionally and strategically, because what we don't want to do as professors is just pulled by this idea of publication scarcity that is drilled into us since grad school, right? Like, how many publications are enough? Who knows? Like more. And if we don't have a good like kind of number in our head that is realistic and based on our current position and what we want to do in the season of career that we're in, then all we're thinking is like, we must publish everything, right? And so things that are not actually the best uses of your time and energy can make it into your publication pipeline, which remember is a high level multi-project plan. Those things can make it into your publication pipeline. And what happens then is that your pipeline gets clogged up with things. And what that means is you are publishing at a level below where you actually could be. And it's because you are dividing your time between projects where some of them are important and on mission and are going to unlock different career opportunities for you. And some of them are not. And the ones that are not tend to drag our energy, take a lot of time. Even if they take no time because you're not actually spending time writing on them, they are taking mental energy and space and preventing you from moving forward on the projects that really matter. So curation of the pipeline is that careful, intentional selection, right? I could publish 10 things off of this data set. It's possible. I could squeeze 10 publications out of the data set. What are the 2 or 3 or maybe even one that really deserves to make it into the pipeline and thus make it out the other end? That's how we need to be thinking about the publication pipeline, especially in early career, but really in any moment, because your publication pipeline is saying something about who you are as a scholar. It is also helping to create your impact in the world in terms of, you're out there, the right people are reading your work so that you're influencing their thinking about their research projects, and the field is moving forward and you're influencing the direction in which the field moves. If you don't curate your pipeline, and thus your pipeline slows down, it gets mired in unimportant projects or in those scarcity projects, which is because it is possible to get 10 publications out of this data set, that means I must try to get all 10 publications that have come to my mind out of the data set. If that's happening, what you're doing is you're just slowing everything down and you will be publishing less. Your intention is to publish more, but the actual reality of what will happen is that you will publish fewer things than you want, need, intend to, and then your impact on the field will be diluted. So curation is the process of really understanding where you want to go with your work and carefully selecting the things you are going to actually put into your publication pipeline and move through all the stages to submission. You're carefully selecting those things based on your academic mission and based on the strategy you have right now for publishing and the season of career that you are in. And all of those things need to come together to influence your choices. So in our Navigate program, we really kind of talk about creating the pipeline, which is the high-level project, multi-project plan. And we also talk about curating that pipeline based on your academic mission. That's the focus of our Navigate program in terms of curation. And actually, the Navigate program is walking you through this process of curation as you go through the 12 weeks of the program, including curating your time, curating your service work, your teaching work, and all of it is really about this intentional selection rather than just I'll say yes to everything, I'll do everything. So back to the title of this video, which is what the curated pipeline unlocks for you. So when you do this process of curation, when you're designing your pipeline from a place of abundance, not scarcity, then what it unlocks for you is influence and impact. And those are things that sometimes in a really actually stressful way, I think many universities when we're in the promotion process want us to talk about impact and R factor and H index or whatever, all of those crazy numbers and things. But the way that I like to think about impact is, are your messages out in the world and are they reaching the brains of the people who you want them to reach, right? So that's why publishing in a really niche kind of journal, even though it might not have a big impact factor, can be really awesome for your career, because the kind of really small subset of people who are right there, who you really want to influence, are more likely to read that niche journal than the big famous journals where everybody across a big undefined field is reading those. I mean, that's just one way to look at things. So when you have this curated pipeline, first of all, what it unlocks for you is more publications. Actually more publications, as I mentioned before, will come out of your pipeline if it's curated than if you're taking the I need to publish everything mindset attitude. It will unlock more influence for you, because guess what? When you're not publishing, your influence isn't out there on the field. I mean, not to the level that it could be, because yes, you could be presenting. Yes, you are doing all other kinds of work that is impactful and influential. Maybe you're doing policy work, you're doing activism, you're doing community work. Like there's tons of ways in which you're being influential and impactful outside of academic journal publications. And also, if what you're trying to do is influence your field of study, right, and change the thinking in your field and move the field forward, then you kind of have to do the academic publications, or you're not going to reach the eyeballs and the brains and the ears of the people who are working to build knowledge, make knowledge, and move the field forward. So if you don't have those academic journal articles or your book out, then it's just like you're not loud enough, right? You're not getting heard. And so you're not getting that influence and impact that you could if you had the curated pipeline. So the curated pipeline unlocks for you influence and impact. And also, I would say the last thing that the curated pipeline unlocks for you is confidence and power and agency. It takes a lot of confidence and belief in yourself to not publish everything, like to curate. It takes some self-trust. It takes thoughtfulness. It takes belief in yourself, belief that you are enough, that your publications will be enough. And so that act of curation is a very agentive act, and it can really make you feel confident when you remove things from your pipeline, when you say, actually, I'm not going to publish that. Like, actually, I'm not. And instead, I'm going to focus on these other things over here. So those are the things that the curated pipeline unlocks for you. I hope that this has been a helpful message and a reminder that if you are looking to create impact in your field, if you're looking to be influential, and I mean influential, not in the influencer kind of way, but like you're writing impactful articles that other people are like, wow, that made me think about things in a different way. And it made me design my next study in a different way, or my next analysis in a different way. Those are the kinds of things that I know your work could be doing. And curating is the pathway. On the other side of curation is that impact and that influence on your field. All right, I hope this has been helpful. A reminder that our Navigate Your Writing Roadmap program is open for enrollment for our cohort that starts August 14th, 2023. It's open for enrollment right now. Now, if you are a person who maybe you're like, oh, wait, I don't curate my pipeline at all. I have a ton of projects in there, or I'm sitting on a mountain of data and I've published before, but this last project has just really gotten clogged up and I don't know, like I can't get these publications out. If you've got a ton of almost done articles sitting around, which so many of us do, then Navigate is the program for you. We are going to work in 12 weeks to create your publication pipeline, improve your writing project management skills, curate your calendar to make space for writing, and improve your writing practice. At the same time, we will be moving each week by week, we'll be moving what we call the low-hanging fruit article. That's your almost done article that's been sitting around there, that's like 80% done, that you just need to spend a little time on. We're going to be moving that through to submission by the end of the 12 weeks of the program. We do this by recorded lessons plus coaching calls and community writing together. And so every week for 12 weeks, there are short recorded lessons. And then in this round on Fridays at 11 o'clock Eastern, we have a 1-hour call. And sometimes it's a coaching call. We alternate between coaching and co-writing. And that call is really, that live component is really what's going to solidify your learning and change your writing and publication practice. We're accepting applications now. If you're seeing this video today, then there's really just a few, like less than a week to submit your application and get yourself through the application process, which includes the application and a pre-enrollment call with me. Before the pre-enrollment call, you will fill out a benchmark assessment and we will review that during your pre-enrollment call. Make sure the program's a right fit. And if it is, I'll give you an invitation to enroll. We already have this beautiful cohort shaping up, and you can go to scholarsvoice.org/navigate and find the pink button on that page. If you are watching or listening during an enrollment period, that pink button will say apply now. You can click on it and start your process. If it's not during an enrollment period, it will say join the waitlist, and we will let you know early before we let everybody else know when the next enrollment period is going to be. So we would love to get your application. We're super excited about the group that is shaping up already, and just want you to have a very wonderful day. Remember, curation is power. Okay, so take that into your week and have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time supporting yourself and your writing by listening to this episode. If you like what you heard today, the best way to say thank you is to hop on over to Apple iTunes and write an honest review. The more reviews, the more amazing academic women and non-binary people will find this podcast. So go write one now.